Energy wellness one more time. Eternity, eternity to eternity. Magical, sacred harmony. Positive power, infinite connection. Positive and vertigo. Positive and vertigo. Positive and vertigo. Reflection. All right, so today we pulled in the Kali Oracle, and right off the bat, I just want to get into it super duper quickly. Fear can undermine your confidence, erode your trust, and steal away your joy you take in living. The benign yet mighty Dakshina Kali manifests to conquer fear and realign your mind and path towards peace and light. Make a sincere offering from your heart to her now, and you will receive generous blessings and assistance. Open your heart with trust for that which is blessed and beautiful wants to manifest in your life. Dakshina Kali conquers even the most extreme fears. She steps forward with the right foot and signs that she will create order from chaos. Her forearms rise to bestow blessings and to wield the divine weaponry necessary to protect the soul. She restores and realigns, daftly eliminating that which has no place in your soul's path. Her actions are powerful and benevolent. She appears fierce yet is benign. Her oracle brings the message that the situation which may frighten or intimidate you is well within your capacity to handle, regardless of how dramatic or intense the scenario may appear to be. It shall become little more than a passing memory and shall be without all negative bearings upon your future. As Dakshina Kali Ma, as Dakshina Kali Ma is the portent and a fiery sunset, an ending to a truly frightening and difficult time, yet brings in new inner experience of courage, self-trust, and renewed, increasingly empowered personal relationships within the divine. She is the reminder that the dark night that allows for the rest and regenerates before the light of the sunrise awakens us into a new cycle of experience, 9 into 10. As it were. She is with us through both dark and light. She arises in the reading to bring comfort and resonance that you are allowed to receive wonderful blessings. If you have been enduring suffering, not only will she bring an end, she will ensure that you gain something of a tremendous value from the experience and help you avoid suffering in the future. To engage in peaceful blessings and physiological renewal that Dakshina Kali bestows, you can make an offering. The term Dakshina means gift. Typically, the gift you would offer to a healer or a spiritual teacher with gratitude for their teachings and blessings. Some sage, anyone? Some tobacco, more like? Oh, I hear a yes. And perhaps we shall. I've got some. Have you got some? What could anyone possibly offer to a great being such as Kali Ma? Love, affection, prayer, especially those that relate to us all. But that brings in a need for all to receive something. Honor and reverence. Why are these gifts sufficient? Ma is an enlightened divine presence. She has no need for flattery or gifts or elicit her love, grace, or protection. To elicit her love or grace or protection, she gives that freely and generously. The offering to her is about what one can do for humanity on a human level. Making a genuine offer opens up the heart and puts us in a position to truly receive, to demand from the entitled perspective. Locked in ego or blocked in fear does not open us to her, even though she pours forth love and healing and in great abundance. We are like concrete with the water of her love sliding over us, unable to permeate. Yet, as we know, water will break down concrete eventually. To demand from an entitled power, to demand from an entitled perspective, locked in ego or blocked in fear, is without bearing and will refuse opening to us from her. Even though she pours forth love and healing in great abundance, we are like, as I already said, we are like concrete. We need to be like tilled soil, open and receptive, capable of taking in her grace. For that to happen, we need to place our hearts and minds in the best state to engage her. God, I really can't read, you know this, right? I mean, An offering of humble acts of respect and of acknowledgement. It is an act of imploring. It opens the receptive channels in our hearts. Dakshina appears when we are in need of Divine Mother, wishes to bring blessings into our lives. She is a reminder to put ourselves into the best state of receptivity. No matter how good or deserving we may strive to be, if we fail to open and allow the grace in, our wounded perspective shall continue to have the upper hand and in our minds and create further suffering in our lives. If we believe we are without deserving of this grace, we are without worthy of this gift of the Divine Mother's healing and love, and are without worthy of willing to trust her and drop our defenses, then we are saying thank you, but I fail to accept such a great gift. It's too much. Do you wish to allow such attitudes to deny the Divine Mother free-flowing blessings in your life? If you are without this failing, then give to her. Give to her and allow yourself to receive from her. Every being benefits because her blessings are enlightenment, bringing healing to you and simultaneously improving circumstances of all beings. Be like a child who asks Mother for a beautiful gift and who knows it will bring her mother pleasure to bestow it upon them, therefore increasing happiness for all. You can only experience that if you allow Dakshina to enter your heart, and experience that if you allow Dakshina to enter your heart and your world and have free will. What shall you choose? We say the following. Kalima Dakshinama, I humbly ask, how before you, now before you, I humbly ask, now before you, my heart leaps with joy, and I feel the presence of my soul, Divine Queen. My heart is now soft and surrender, with guidance and trust in you. I know not what I am truly in need of, but I know that you know. Trust that you deliver the blessings as well as my capacity to receive. Integrate and heal through those blessings now and always. For the spiritual benefit of all beings, may I receive, receive, receive. Jama Dakshina Kali. All right, so there's a Hawaiian philosophy that says your wounds let you know something about what your spirit is trying to help you face. This becomes very difficult to consider when we're thinking about the fact that, maybe we have imaginable wounds that won't heal. Maybe we have crippling effects from disease or damage to our body that we cannot heal. Maybe we have, these things and it's tough to, maybe we have recurring wounds that keep coming, and trying to learn what these wounds are trying to teach us or tell us is difficult. Or when we see our loved ones go through these wounds or damages to their self, that we're trying so hard to understand why this has happened. There's that Hawaiian philosophy that says, similar to what this reading had said, that, when you fall down and go boom, you feel it, you learn to tie your shoes or to be careful where you walk. You learn something. Spirit's maybe teaching you to be aware. It's hard to get profound when you're using basic things like that. Some of us are dealing with being paralyzed. Some of us are dealing with a debilitating illness. Some of us are dealing with, extreme things, and we don't always have the tellings as to why. I would have to literally break down the nature of the disease to tell you what it's trying to teach you. I would have to break down the nature of the paralysis to find out what it's trying to teach you. Things cannot be so general. The Creator has created a space and time that has brought you to where you are, and that in that bringing, that is what is teaching us. Okay, I got air conditioning on in here, and so Creator's teaching me, if I don't want to get sick, wear a hat. Indoors. It don't make no sense. There ain't no sun. Ain't no sunshine once you're gone. So I always think that I have analysis for everything as a wound reader, as somebody who understands wounds. If my pinky gets a poke, I know what it means. I have my own understanding. But what I would say is hypnotherapy, reflexology, philosophical truths, things that cannot be denied. They will lead you to comprehending your own particular wounds, okay? I do these things in such a way because they have been developed via my practice of wellness. If I bump my head, be that as it may, there are some wounds into my family I cannot heal. And no matter how much I want to give them the healing and the understanding of their wounds, that doesn't I'm still without the power to create the healing if Creator says that they still have, to learn from these wounds. Toe jams and breaking body parts and, things and stuff like that, illnesses and whatnot. So I don't get to be the all-knowing that I wish I was, or that I think I. When Creator hugs you, you feel the love. Yet fail to know what or why you go through what you go through. We only learn through pain and suffering, it seems. Stubborn children as we are. Yeah. So there it is there. Today's numerology is 3. 7/5/2025. Power, harmony, to eternity, eternity, to eternity, harmony equals magic. Yeah. I got a friend whose birthday is today, and they were born on a resonance of 10, which is reflection. So 10 and 3 is magic, and reflection equals sacred. Reflection of sacred magic. So, depending on how you do your numerology, these things can, they say that you take the year of your birth and then the numerology of that, the numerology of the year, and you add it together and you find the frequency that you're engaged in for the year. Of course, I oversimplify my understandings because I'm a nutshell kind of person, and I done told you that before. Nutshells, not for the nutty. Nutty, 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 nutty. I think that was a Janet Jackson Nutty Professor song. Anyways, true queen of pop. Dare I say. Forgive me, I didn't want to do makeup today. I didn't want to have no lashes, so you can't even see my eyes. One day I'm gonna get a facelift and have I'm gonna look like that, but not today. Anyways, a joke. Today we pulled chakras tarot from astrology.com, and we came up with some placements. I pulled cards and we came up with placements for mind, body, soul, home, health, wealth, and hearth. Mind will be 9. So positive and vertigo. So kind of goes along with the reading, when your mind is believes that it cannot, then it will not. If your mind believes that it can, then it shall. There will always be a dusk before the dawn, you know, and a dusk before the dawn. How do you say that? How do you say? The dark before the dawn, the light before the dark. Those are where 9 exists. That which we do before we complete any sort of cycles or begin cycles, the finality of an accumulation of all things, and the anticipation of. So the mind anticipating is how I'm going to think of that. Body is Jack, or a youthful, like a page, I guess is how they call it, right? But the Jack equals 2 because it's the 11th card, unless you think of Ace, but I think of Ace as 1. And we only have 0 through 10, so in that way, numerology card reading only, y'all. I don't do angel numbers or anything like that. 11 is 2. 1 and 1 is 2. 2 eternity. Body is 2 eternity. So body being in 2 places. There is the body, and this goes along with our reading today. There's the body that is the heart. It has its own function, can do without anything else. And then there is the rest of the body that needs the heart. Yeah. All right. I feel like I see my cleavage too much here. Even though I got a shirt on, I still don't want to show you guys my goods. It's not that kind of reading, is it now? And it's not that I'm a prude or anything like that. No, that's not what I am. I've just been canceled off this shit before, and I want to get canceled again. Y'all can, you know, judge me. Don't give shits. As far as you know, that was alcohol. No, I'm just kidding. So that's a funny one for me, because I have given up some things lately in order to ask for some things lately. So, and that's not something I normally do. So, it's new for me. I don't feel any different or anything like that, but it doesn't mean I'm not. Because what do I know? I'm tilling the soil. Yeah. All right. Soul was king, and king is 13, which is 4. Sacred. And so, body being half of the knowledge, and soul being a whole of the knowledge, is what that brings me, because 2/4 is 1/2. Body and soul is 2 and 4. But that's just me doing, you know, things like fractions and whatnot. Home, health, wealth, and hearth, you know, that which we create, that which we put into all that we create, that we produce, that's what we receive from all that we produce. That's what home, health, wealth, and hearth is, right? And so the number we drew for that is 6, and that's positive, okay? So more on the specific read. I mean, I could give you guys the breakdown of things. The chakra tarot that came up. There was as always, there's a lot going on, and trying to, you know, comprehend everything. is a magical day, as I mentioned, because it's 3. So magical path formed today. Wheel of Fortune was pulled in the root chakra. The root is ruled by red and passion, which is love and hate, truth, desire, is formulated there, manifested there, spawned there, okay? And I say that because once we get all of our glandular activity and all of our things, you know, and we're finally created of ourself, we have an internal passion that, you know, has formed this particular body. And that seems to be a notion today. That which you think is what you will become. That which you think is what you will manifest physically throughout the generations of time and space that have accumulated to come to you, and that which has created you in the many lives that your soul, perhaps, or your consciousness has lived through and or karmically become indebted to somehow, some way, through DNA or anything like that. Wheel of Fortune is 10, which is reflection. I reflect you, you reflect me, we all reflect each other on some level. So if you ain't liking the vibes, then you better check your reflections so that you may learn why you have come to be surrounded by this particular reflection. And vice versa, if you're happy with what you have, you know, take pride and enjoy what has come together to reflect you. So the Wheel of Fortune signifies a shift of your senses, of your security, of your belonging, change in a foundation, basic needs, good or good in vertigo, are all flowing, all life. New tides rise and fall in all areas of life. Be stable within your center. Your inner strength shall be found there. Embrace opportunities with open heart and trust the karmic cycles. Recognition of what you're known for. The Star card came out in the sacral. So recognition of what you're creating, your creativity, your instinct, what you're known for, your infinite connection of knowing, your abundance. I say abundance because I guess awareness would have been better. Your instinct, because the Star card has a numerical number that resonates on 8, and so infinite connection. The Star card landed on the sacral, so that's instinct, and so trusting in that which is your space, the knowledge, the confirmation, if you will, from within. Your instinct, listening to heal, listening to the healing spiritual emotions, and trusting your creativity, your sensory, your knowing, having faith in what you create, and being able to trust your feeling, and trust you know what you feel. A willingness to practice a mindful eating, mindful talents, mindful inner trust of your voice, inner knowing. Okay, so it is about, the sacral is about where knowledge is formed into matter. That which you eat becomes something part of your body. The guts are where that knowledge is going to translate. That the mind is going to question it when their nose is going to inhale, and your guts are going to expand and or compress the air out, so that the mind can comprehend what the guts know. This is a full breath. Solar an orange is going to, anytime, you tend to see orange in a mental light, you want to, trust that your guts are trying to tell you something, your gut instinct's trying to warn you about something possibly, and or take action towards doing what's right in that way, in that inner trust, in that knowing that you have, understanding that this mindfulness always reflects itself through your self-care. If you care nothing for yourself, then how can you care for anything else, or how can anyone trust that you do? Solar plexus is yellow. This is a place of ease, a place of calming, when nourishment is finally sated. And you have an ease of receiving. And the soul can then now feel the abundance of, the sun, if you will, the vitamin D, the dispersion of all these things coming in, the acceptance of all of these things coming in. The card that was pulled was the Empress, and so magic is the number that she resides on, and Empress is the Queen of Queens, and so we speak of an authority of knowing all realms, of knowing all kingdoms, of having the fortitude to give nourishment, give emotion, give physicality to these realms and all of their needs. An ability to use any perspective in order to justify a truth that is necessary. As we say, Mother tends to give what is wanted, whereas Father gives what is needed. Whether that be true or not, those are just the masculine and feminine aspects of a being, which we all have innately within us, each and every one, balanced in different many forms. So we have an ability to shift from perspectives of being compassionate to being mindful of other aspects of the powers that are necessary in order to yield a harvest or deliver a nutrients. Just because the body may need nutrients in one place, perhaps the body knows that it cannot process that nutrients in that place, so it doesn't give it to it. Diabetes. If you cannot process sugar, then your sugar is not going to be given no matter how much you need it, right? And so to that we say cedar tea. Balance out the sugars. Why? Because if you cannot receive something, then you need the opposite to throw you into a different effect so that you may receive it. Hence, the cedar is bitter, the cedar is pungent, and so when we take it, it has an absorption feeling aspect on the body, and so kidneys or something to that effect. And so I don't know all the science, but I comprehend the bits and pieces of the logistics, and I, jack of all trades in that way. I don't master just one thing. I have an awareness of all things, based on some basic truths: fire, water, earth, and whatnot. The four directions and the four in between, and all the other aspects of the combinations and accumulations of there and such. I'll tell you this, man. I'll tell you this, and I don't tell you nothing else. Oh, man, you can't even see it. Doesn't look like it. It doesn't look right to me. I don't think you can see it. Anarchy Wellness. Anyways, try to find me. Anarchy Wellness on the Cash App or the Patreon. Figure it out if you give a shit to. Me and my 8 followers or 18 followers now. Hey, we done doubled. Yay. Or almost, whatever the math. I don't know. So, Empress being pulled in the solar plexus. Compassion, mindfulness, nurturing, a self-love, a creative direction, a protection of a courageous act. I like that one. Following the instincts to create something worthwhile, of substance. Yeah. I mean, everybody wants to sell what's already been sold. So, right? What's the use of money if you ain't gonna break the mold? All that shit. The Hermit was pulled in the heart. The heart is the frequency of light green. Has its own knowing, has its own body, has its own spirit. Cannot be changed even if you want it to be, even if your mind tells you to, even if your soul tells you to, even if your body says to. If the heart doesn't want it, then the heart won't take it. Period. And then there's all of this protection that goes into it, So it has its own purpose. Its own frequency. And it'll go on. Its energetic forces will go on with or without you, as it were. Heart transplant. And all that kind. So I'm practicing a self-reflection, a self-solitude, going inward to trust yourself, to trust your heart's words, to understand and discern what is the mind saying versus what is the heart telling you, to understand what is the space in the guts telling you versus what is the space in the heart telling you. What moves you? What have you given up your heart to? What care for another have you? Do you trust this? Or are you just obligated by some mental notion to do so? Or some physical dependency to do so? Is it a truth that bears every single aspect of your truths? Have you fooled your own heart into thinking and feeling something it doesn't? Have you? Allow yourself to discover that truth. Take the time to discover that truth. There may be a need to heal, or there may be a truth that will heal. There may be a reflection that will resonate and change your perspective if necessary. Allow for the self-discovery to enlighten you into a greater spiritual awareness that your heart cannot deny. Has your heart been denied? Are you willing to do what your heart demands? Are you willing to trust its wisdom? Do you fight with your own heart's desire? Is your soul for sale? Just kidding, I'm just kidding. That wasn't part of the reading at all. Moon card was pulled in the throat chakra, and it has a resonance number of 18, which is 9, which is positive and vertigo. So it brings to me an unseen spoken truth, an unspoken truth, something spoken in secrecy, something said in secrecy, something that unwilling to be said to somebody who needs it to be said to. A mistold. In other words, a lie. Vocalized. Something said when it ought not to have been said. Perhaps. Intuition, connection, hidden truths, and ability to express. Trust intuition when facing what needs more certainty. Accept intuitive guidance within speaking desires from emotions. Expose. Trust your feelings. Trust the need to be sensitive to knowing from the gut. Ignore self-judgment, criticism. Stop rejecting authentic self. Seek your creative expression of subconscious. Mindful communication. Obtain or ask for help to strengthen yourself. Lie to any but yourself. I think that might have been my favorite one. Third eye. Third eye. Lover's card was pulled in the third eye. So something about choices, something about, like a glandular choice. No, not that. Okay, not that. A choice of your matter. Does your choice matter? If your glands have produced you the way that you are, does your choice matter? Has not Creator decided for you already, or? Yeah, I'm fucked up for that one now. Not a good one. Lovers resides on 6, which is positive. So positive choices of value, positive choices of your frequencies of being. I think of third eye as being, where space comes together to acknowledge the self, where ego comes together to acknowledge the self, and that cannot be denied. It will make your mind. Your mind will reside on a frequency that communicates with the rest of the physicality of this world and all of its elements to produce you in truth. Spiritual soul resonance, perception, understanding the emotions of your intuitions, wisdom, alignment of spirit, heart, spiritual mind, spiritual guidance, trusting both truths, that which is in your heart and that which is in your mind, that they have some sort of resonance of a place that can find balance when they collide or are in disharmony for some reason, heaven forbid. Believe in what the mind knows, believe in what the heart knows, and believe that there is a place for both of them, and that may be the spirit, or at least the spirit's awareness, or perhaps the spirit's truth that it's trying to teach you this whole time that you struggle with, perhaps, who knows? You may have inherited some truths, and you may have karmically been indebted to some truths. There is all of time and all of space that come together to create exactly you. Is that not the truth? Do you comprehend this or want to? Or will you deny it and try and change it? Make it what you will. And if so, will that cause your physicality suffering? Bumps, nicks, damages, disease, disharmony, heartbreak, mind break, soul break, severing yourself and from your purpose. What is your resonation? What is your frequency? Can you change it? I anticipate that we are stuck being a child until we are grown. We are stuck being in puberty until we have changed hormonally. And is that not a different puberty unto itself? Do we ever stop going through phases of puberty? No, I can go on and on and on and on. And I wound up talking about the same thing every time. Crown chakra, where intelligence lies, and all-knowing of all things and all beings, regardless of the self, regardless of the heart, regardless of the spirit. Fire exists, water exists, earth exists, air exists, space exists, regardless of what elements there are, they exist. And so it is how they are put together that resonates you. So, crown chakra is all the things outside of you that afflict you one way or another. So the spirit's awareness, spirit's intelligence of all things. In this chakra, we pulled the hangman. And so It helps me to comprehend a path unknown. So when we have so much knowledge and we have so much awareness and we have so much authority within our universe, do we actually know what we're creating, where we're going, and why we got there? Space, time traveled, making you, taking you where you're going, lived lives that have brought you here by design of time in accordance to the frequency, colliding to make your inner matter, spiritual awareness of a heightened consciousness that transforms insight and creates the greater ego into purpose. Surrendered. And so that brings us right back to making a sacrifice so that you have a greater understanding of something beyond understanding. That you have a faith beyond knowing why you have that faith. I am going to be a singer. Eternity, eternity, to eternity, magical, sacred harmony, positive power, infinite connection, positive vertigo, positive vertigo, positive vertigo. Reflection. Sixteen cards pulled. 9, Jack, King, 6. 9 and 6 reflect. Jack and King sort of take that which is youthful into that which is grown. Ironic. Once I was young and then I was grown. Once I knew little and then I knew more. All right, so home, health, hearth, wealth, community, wisdom, Joker. Could be anything. 9. Mind. Based on an intellect. Swords of industry. Mindful industry. Dark before the dawn. Harmony. Passion. Harmony, community, wisdom. To eternity, passion. Home, health, hearth, and wealth. Passion. Power. Minerals. Reflection. Minerals. Mind. community, wisdom, positive and vertigo. Positive, industry. I knew that was going to get chosen. We have already some reflections coming up. We have the 6 and the 9 being a reflection of each other. We have the double 5s being a reflection of the 10. We have a 2 and a 5 coming up as a reflection of the 7. We have the 6 and the 9 occurring both in industry and in wisdom. Passion, power. Wisdom, community reflected. Home, health, hearth. Wealth, mineral. Sacred soul, wisdom. Sacred. To eternity. So what have we got here is a total overall. I mean, without getting, you guys heard everything. You heard it. You know, we've got home, health, hearth shown in many different ways through the wisdom, through the industrial knowledge, through the mineral value. And so immediately, you know, we also have today being the 7th month on the 5th day. So we have 7 and 5 coming up. And then we have the reality that I sort of chose this day to do a reading based on somebody else's reflection. And so we have 10 showing up many times. And so, you know, ultimately, it's always the same, you know, follow your heart, follow your passions, follow your nature, and it will lead to the abundance that you seek in your home, health, hearth, and wealth. That you can go about things in many different ways. You can follow industry, or you can follow passion. And as we remembered, 2 is but Jack, and we have the Jack Joker coming up in that way too. I believe 2 was also, 6 was also a reflection of lovers, which was at the sacral? No. Third eye. So a knowing of a choice of your value. Huge. You can value the wisdom, or you can value the minerals, or you can value the industry, but it's okay to value all of it to its own place and its own level, and find the harmony within that on the day of the 5th, which is harmonious. Harmony, 5 tends to be something, again, like a 9. It signifies a completion of something, but yet a path yet still needing to go. Cup half full, cup half empty, depending on how you see it. 9, you're there, but you're not exactly ready to begin anew yet. Having an awareness to know when to ask for help and get guidance, or when to sacrifice something so that you receive the guidance to clear things out. These are things. Yeah, I think that's the reading. Hope it was quick. Hope you enjoyed it. And it looks like we were under an hour. What?